begin. And welcome everyone. Welcome to Tech Talk Friday. And today we have a fantastic show with us. Karam will be joining us shortly. But before Karam joins us, I've got a very special guest, the Malaysian Australian Business Council, and he's a guy that everyone knows in the tech scene, with a number of different organizations. We're gonna call up Matthew Singh to join us in a moment. And Matthew's been in Malaysia for so long, and I think all of us know it, but he's got some great stuff to talk about and some great insights on the tech scene. So Matt, welcome to the show. Great to have you on board with us.
Hey, thanks so much for having us, and welcome everyone to another great session by Roshan. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Matt, tell us a little bit about what's happening in your world and in your space, and what's the latest and greatest that's happening with you at this point in time.
Okay, so that's a great question. So everyone that has been following me, I invested in an AI company 2 years ago called Superceed, and Superceed has grown by leaps and bounds. We've gone from a 20 million ringgit company to a 100 million ringgit company in the space of 2 years, and we're really seeing a resurgence in companies, companies adopting AI technology. So that's the big thing. My next big exciting thing that I'm doing now is I'm investing into a startup, which is in a luxury travel online travel agency. So it's an interesting investment because it wouldn't be the logical investment to invest in now.
Especially now, right? I mean, in light of all the things that are happening, right? Why travel and well, you said luxury travel though, right?
Yeah. So what I saw is yes, there will be a rebound in travel because people have been caged up at home for so long, and it really comes down to when they feel it's not about government so much, but it's more about people when they feel safe to travel. And then I think there'll be a resurgence, and where we see the big rebound will be in luxury travel, because people who typically would travel quite often for vacations and go overseas, they've been getting locked up at home for the last 4 to 5 months. So we see there's going to be a big boom, and what we've seen here in Malaysia, especially over the last 30 days, is domestic travel has gone crazy.
It's like we have animals being uncaged, right? And everybody's just
it's people have been uncaged. It's been really terrific to watch. I remember as soon as they said, well, now you can travel, within 24 hours, all of the resorts on Langkawi were booked out. So everyone. But I think it's fantastic for the local economy, and to be honest, I think it's great for a lot of countries. Like where I'm from, Australia. Australia's starting to open up their borders. I mean, Victoria is having obviously issues with COVID now, but other travel restrictions will start to be lifted. So domestic travel is going to see a big surge over the next sort of 6 to 12 months, and then of course luxury travel is going to be close to follow after that, which is all of the.
And we need to talk a little bit about Superceed. I guess they are on an ECF fundraising. I'm gonna invite Karam. Karam, who is just about walking into. See how strategic we are. And we get him right there, right? And that's how good our studio producer is now. But Karam, welcome to Tech Talk. You made it on time. Wow. After he had no electricity last week, so we had there. So Karam's going to write a book about the woes of Karam and technology, right? So So you know, Matt, you know, Superceed, you know, small company, 20 million, now it's a $100 million company. You're on an ECF run. You've raised about 2 million of the 4 million that you're looking for, I think, right? Um,
Yeah.
how, how you know, talk us through that. I mean, why ECF at this point in time?
Well, the thing is where is Superseed is now is going for. It's never raised a significant chunk of money. You know, it's a 10-year-old company. It's really seen terrific growth over the last 2 years. I mean, we've gone from 2 million revenue 2 years ago to 16 million revenue in this financial year, which has just ended. So it was time to raise some money and grow the business. You know, we've now developed a SaaS platform, and we really wanted to pump a lot of money into growing the SaaS platform for enterprise and for SMEs. So we see it as I mean, doing equity crowdfunding right now is relevant because that's a really fast way of raising money, and also we're one of the very few companies which have grown through, especially the last 6 months, but over the last 2 years, and it gives an opportunity for Malaysians to be part of a Malaysian success story. You know, because who knows where Superseed is going to be in the future. I mean, Karamjit, you've been following my story for the last 2 years with Superseed.
Yeah. No. So what's interesting, I think for readers also, for viewers,
For listeners.
for listeners,
Yeah.
okay, same
Or
listeners.
viewers, I guess viewers is a better
They
word. Yeah.
said, you know, look, the company has been around for 8 years before you came in, right, right, Matthew?
That's right.
8 years.
Yeah.
So 2 million ringgit revenue to 16 million. That is phenomenal 8x growth, right, in 2 years. Now, it looks like the magic ingredient so far has been this Aussie guy called Matthew Bassing, who can't stop talking. So because
No, I can't take the credit.
The founder of the company is a core techie guy, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know Jeffrey very well, but you can see Jeffrey is a core techie guy, and he's not a people person, whereas you are. So I'm wondering the lesson, and there are many companies like him out there where the founders are technologists. So how do you then scale the company, right, revenue-wise, that much, that fast? Was it because you came and did your little bangra and you went out and reached more people than the core engineering founding team could have done? Because I think there's a lesson there for people to learn, right?
Yeah.
I like the Bangla. I like the Bangla.
Yeah.
Tell us about the
Aussies
Bangla.
got no culture. They don't have the Hakka dance, so I can't say you did the Hakka, right?
Look, I mean, I was very fortunate to come into Superseed at a time. I mean, so Superseed was originally set up 10 years ago. Was a virtual contact center platform. So it was set up as a SaaS company, and then very quickly realized that a subscription model 10 years ago was a very difficult thing to maintain business. So, you know, then moved into doing some enterprise deals, so bespoke sort of enterprise deals. And then over the last 3 years has moved into what we call enterprise SaaS, which is all about technology on a SaaS platform, and going out there and doing customized solutions for enterprise companies. So if
Okay,
you ask,
hold on, Matt. So that means you are not the one to tell them to change the business model to a SaaS model, right? So Jeffrey and the team figure out that's what they have to do themselves, correct? Because I want to try to trace where was your impact that helped the revenue scale that much. So you are not the one to come and say change the business model. So at least that's clear. That's fine.
No. Well, yes and no. So when I came in, I said we have to change the business model because we were doing enterprise deals, and
Okay.
the problem, enterprise deals are great, but they take a really long time to
cycle, yes.
and then they're very chunky as well. So, you know, then you have problems with, you know, you have potential payment problems and terms and stuff like that. So part of it when I came into Superseed was absolutely looking at changing the business model or pivoting, keeping out we have 3 business lines: so enterprise, which is our chunky business, Then we have enterprise SaaS, which is on our platform. And then we have SME SaaS, which is the scalable business, which is going to replicate someone like Zoho or Salesforce.com and so forth. So yes and no. When I came in, I was very fortunate that Superceed and Jeffrey had done such a great job in developing all of these enterprise deals. And it just happened that when I came in, those enterprise deals actually finally monetized. But what we did is we said, okay, we're going to commercialize all of the AI technology in Superceed. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to build platforms. So we built an omni-channel, multilingual with chatbot, ticketing, and so forth, where companies as small as an SME can get onto the platform for as low as $10 US a month. They can have a multilingual chatbot, and they can have ticketing, hand off the live agents, and have all of the AI tech behind it. For enterprise or larger companies, they can leverage on all of our technology stack and have a hosted solution on their servers, and that becomes more of an enterprise SaaS solution. Or, like I said, we also do enterprise bespoke deals.
But that was happening. But you increased. So when you came on board, was the pipeline already there, or you dramatically increased the pipeline? Because I'm still looking at 2 million to 16 million, right? So what happened that suddenly customers were saying, okay, we are on board?
Yeah. So of course, of course, nobody ever likes to talk about themselves. Yeah. But what happened is when I came in, of course, I'm from a business development background and a marketing background, leading all the way back to when I was the head of investment for MDEC, which most people in Malaysia know me from that time. And so when I came in.
Okay, Matthew just froze for a while. Hold on, let's see.
Okay.
Or maybe Matthew's power went out too. So maybe TNB is doing this rolling thing. And then next week you'll see Roshan's power go out.
Are we online now?
Yeah, you're back now. So you were saying that you've been in various roles. So just resume from there.
Yeah. So of course, as soon as I came in, it was about commercializing all of the AI technology which Superceed had developed over the last few years. Okay. So as in the voice intelligence, the natural language understanding, the emotion AI for face, and deep learning and predictive AI. And then it was about building products using that technology. So that was number one. But number two is introducing large companies that could leverage our platform and our technology. Again, not talking about us as a company or how great we've done, but more talking about how we gave back. So at the beginning of the MCO, on the 18th of March, we immediately connected with MDEC, SME Corp, Maxis, Outsourcing Malaysia, PCOM, yep. And we said, let's put together a program to help Malaysian SMEs get through this really difficult time, because on the 18th of March, we already saw that this was going to be a long, drawn-out process and was going to have a huge impact on Malaysian companies. So that was something we started to put together on the 18th. In April, we launched a program in collaboration with Maxis and SME Corp and MDEC and so forth. And what we did is it was a collaboration where Maxis said, these are all of the products that we're offering to SMEs to help them out. Superceed came in and we said, okay, we've got this omni-channel AI platform which SMEs can use. And what we wanted to do is we said, we want to give it to any company that wants to use our platform. We want to give it to you free of charge for 6 months with no hidden catches. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to give your credit card. And it was really about us having something which we felt was really useful for companies, but understanding the companies, no matter how much they wanted it, they don't have money. So we really wanted to help out. And I'll tell you, Maxis was a really fantastic collaborator in that project. And what we did is I mean, we had the CEO of SME Corp, Azmi at the time, was on the line, and we had Dr. Carl, and and everybody was very supportive. So I think that we're not out of the woods yet. I think we're still going through a really tough time, but Superceed was, I mean, we've developed a great platform, a great AI tech, and we're there to help Malaysian companies get through this.
So, but Matt, if I was listening into the show now, I'm thinking he hasn't answered Karamjit's question. Karamjit is asking from 2 million to 18, from 2 million to 16 million over 2 years. Amazing achievement. What was the trigger? So you increased the sales pipeline, but what else did you do? Because or are you saying that they didn't have a dedicated business guy before you came in? Because you've got strategic intent, also outlook. So what was the differentiator? Because then somebody may say, hey, I got to go out and get somebody like that, or say I want to bring Matt on board now because he's now Superceed, right? So I want people to get that takeaway, because I still don't understand how the magic happened in the 2 years.
Well, like I said, there was projects in the pipeline already. Okay. So I mean, there was a major project that we did through a channel partner. In Cambodia, for instance. So we signed Cambodia. So we signed a 5-year project in Cambodia, and that was a big contributor to our pump in revenue.
Okay, so stop right there. Stop right there first. Cambodia. I think sometimes Malaysian entrepreneurs think you look at Cambodia. It's still a developing country. They may be where Malaysia was 30 years ago. Not much money to be made from a market like that. Your price points are going to be way low. But seems to be like that was a big deal for you all. So you managed to overcome, maybe it's just my prejudice, but you say, hey, we can do a deal, and probably must be with a telco, right? So picking the right partner is correct. And then you have to convince the partner that your technology was a great fit for them also, right?
Yeah, absolutely correct, Karamjit. What we delivered was what we call a bespoke enterprise deal, where we came in and we used all of our AI technology and all of our skill sets to develop an e-government solution for in Cambodia with the government over there. And it's a 5-year project, which is very exciting. But again, we don't want to get too distracted from where we're going now, which is we've got a platform, and we're onboarding companies. So there's 3 parts. Enterprise deals, which is like this Cambodia deal, then enterprise SaaS, which is larger companies which may require a hosted solution, and then we have SME SaaS, which is a plug and play sort of solution where they can come in and they can they can customize a multilingual chatbot, they can have live ticketing, they can have live agents, work at home agents and so forth. So that platform's already up and running. So that's where we see the major growth over the next definitely over the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay. All right, interesting. So a lot of people. Hey, look. Okay, go ahead, Roshan.
No. Go ahead. Why don't you finish your thing? Go ahead.
Okay. No. So a lot of people throw out the word AI, right? So analytics companies now say they're AI, they're ML. They'll add all these 2 alphabets, right? Whether MX or VX or AR, So, but how strong is the technical capabilities within your team? Because you're still engineering a product team, correct? So how strong are the engineering capabilities? You got to keep improving the platform and add more features for customers.
So you're absolutely right. I mean, so what we've done, which is really unique, is we've got a tech team which has built everything on a language agnostic framework, which is really important, because that allows us to do multilingual
any cloud platform.
Effectively. We're typically, if you're using Watson or you're using a different Google engine, they're based on an English language framework, so they can't do mixed language effectively. So that's number one, and that's our IP, and it's really important. Number 2 is we've actually, I mean, over the last 10 years, Superceed the co-founder is the CTO, not Jeffrey who you met. It's a co-founder. He's a genius, like Jeffrey, a very technical guy. So what we've done is we've built a war chest full of products. So we have a product for interviewing, we have a product for universities, We have products for BPOs and blah blah blah. So we're built. So it's exactly what you were saying, Karamjit. When you have an SME platform, you need to have a very high level AI technical team to continue to fine tune and develop, and then continue to add on additional platforms or additional upgrades, so you can keep the customers engaged, or so your revenue base continues to grow. Because we've seen a lot of, we've done a lot of research on SaaS companies, and you see SaaS companies go up very fast, but if they don't continue to innovate, they can also disappear very fast as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm in agreement with you 100%.
So just one question about the way you're raising funding. It's great that you're confident you want to go on the ECF platform and raise 4 million ringgit, but it seems like you're raising, the amount of money you're raising is not a lot. It's not an amount that will get the media or investors also excited. Hey, they're raising, it's not like $4 million US. So why are you being so cautious? And now I use the word cautious because your revenue has gone up a lot, and it seems like you've got a strong product portfolio. So why the caution with raising funding?
So we've our greatest challenge, Karamjit, is getting because we've had these enterprise deals. It's to make sure that it's not just booked revenue, but it's actually realized revenue. So this is always our challenge in having these big chunky deals. So we're in the next sort of 3 months, then we'll be finalizing a Series A capital round. But our valuation that we're raising on pitched in right now is at a 51 million ringgit valuation.
Okay.
The Series A valuation, we're targeting between 130 and 150 million, because by that, within 3 months, we'll have all of our accounts would have been in and revenue realized.
Yeah. So Matt, I mean, just I'm going to highlight a couple of comments. There's a lot of comments coming in from Jess, from Dato Nora Manaf, from Maybank, and Dr. Arul, and many others. Everyone's saying great stuff, very captivating. Your pivot or your personal pivot, I guess, to the luxury business makes a lot of sense.
I know,
it
doesn't make sense to me. I think
that's a risky bet,
but that's for another show.
But that's for another show, and this is what the audience is saying. So let me just get to the audience, and we'll get to what Karam thinks in a second. Jasbir, like what she's hearing. She likes Karam also. So Karam, you have a big fan in Jasbir Kaur. Okay, so there might be a potential little things that happen on the side. So watch out for the Jasbir Karamjit stuff in the background. But her question on Superceed, right, is she's not heard much about Superceed. She's wondering what are your footprints? The question is where are your footprints today specifically? Maybe you can expand on that a bit, Matt.
Yeah, Superceed is an SME company. So yes, we've been around for 10 years, but we've maintained a very humble office in Mid Valley. We've got about 30 people on our team in Malaysia. We've only got the one office. Now, due to the COVID-19, most of our staff are working remotely, and which leads into our technology and our platform. Effectively, they can work remotely. We have a small team in Cambodia as well, in doing our project in Cambodia. And to be honest, we will probably, we don't have a great intention to grow our workforce exponentially. We're a technology company, so what we do is we tend to work with channel partners.
Matt, there's an audience response, Dato Munira, who says, look, like many tech companies, you guys, she thinks you are struggling to commercialize your product, right? Or struggled to commercialize your product in the past. What are some of your key learnings that you can share with us on how you commercialize them, how you successfully do it, or are in the process of doing it?
Yeah, well, I think we're talking about this at the beginning. So our company has grown through enterprise deals where we've reinvested all the profits to build commercialize our AI technology. And our core offering which we have about 100,000 subscribers now, is our omni-channel platform, which has the integrated multilingual chatbot and ticketing and so forth. But I agree. I mean, there's a cost of customer acquisition. You can't get away from that. There's the customer lifetime value. We understand what that is. And so what we've done is it's taken us, Roshan, your comment was really relevant to where we're at right now. So we've been playing with our business model continuously over the last 2 years, and we've worked out a four-pronged strategy. So number one is we've now got API connectivity into Facebook, into LinkedIn, into Zoho, into Salesforce.com. So we're actually into their marketplace now. So we're launching in their marketplace through API. Then the second one is we've identified that our customers are typically SMEs or mid-sized enterprise companies. So who are the biggest? Where can we leverage on those sort of database? So we've entered into contractual partnerships with hosting companies. So we've identified hosting companies not only in Malaysia but throughout Southeast Asia. So for instance, we've already finalized our partnership with Exabytes in Shinjuru in Malaysia. We've already launched that partnership, but we're already in very advanced stages in partnerships with in Asia Pacific region, because Asia Pacific is our initial target. So we've built our platform. We have a lot of technology solutions. We have all of our AI tech. We understand the issues regarding scalability, and at the same time, while we're scaling up, there's an enormous amount of expense on our shoulders, because you're like, for instance, we bring on 100,000 users as a free trial. We've got to pay for that, so that's not free for us. So we've got to self-fund that. So we understand all of that, and getting to your question about why, did we answer your question why we did the ECF now, and we'll go straight into a Series A once we fix our all of our backyard. I think that's the easiest way to put it. So yeah, I mean, we're in a very strong financial position, which is interesting for retail investors, and now we're now the institutional investors and VCs and PEs are very seriously looking at us. But previously, Karamjit, we've gone through some rounds with VCs and PEs before, but when it got to financial due diligence, we always suffered because they wouldn't come to the valuation because of those issues I spoke about.
Okay. So and I think one more question, Dato' Munira, and I guess Jasbir kind of talks about this in one of her questions. Is I'm sure you went through a lot of challenges in the last couple of years. What were some of these challenges? And were there nuggets that you can share to us for the rest of us who are going through this process at this point in time, so that we can learn from you and potentially accelerate our own learning from your failures or from your struggles or your challenges, all right? And Jasbir just adds to it, and she said, look, that it's the human piece and the technology piece. It's not easy to kind of marry this and enable that to be successful. What are some of your secret I guess your secrets in terms of enabling that to happen or thrive?
That's interesting. So I think the first one, I think the first part is staying true to what your original intention was. So it's very easy to get distracted when you're fighting to pay the bills, right? So and you can get distracted. I mean, so we were originally set up as a SaaS business, then we got distracted and went into doing enterprise deals. Then we developed all this great technology, and then we said, okay, let's go back to our core, which is building a SaaS platform.
Yes.
So, but it's very difficult for an SME to stay focused on doing that because you've also got to pay the bills at the same time. So you've got staff, and you've got, like all of us, we've got 30 people to feed and overheads to pay. So we need to make sure that we have a a fine balancing act. And if you ask, the most challenging part is being focused, and really, I mean, not only, what do they say? They say you can see the forest for the trees. It's being able to say, okay, so yes, we can deal with all the issues today, but we need to stay true where we want to be in 5 years' time. Who we want to be. So I wouldn't say to anyone that's listening that we're a success story. I would like to be very humble about it. I think we've still got a long way to go.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
But certainly we've grown, and and I believe that Superceed will continue to grow. And we have a lot of great support from Malaysian government agencies, and also good friends in the market as well that have been up. And here's the biggest challenge, right? If you ask me, Roshan, the biggest challenge is 2 years ago we went out and started talking to all of our friends in the technology scene, but we've continued to evolve, and the biggest challenge is talking to people and saying, hey, hang on, we're not the same companies we were 6 months ago. We're not even the same company we were 3 months ago. So everything we've said that we were going to do, we actually have done. So we're a very different company now. And I think that's a real challenge, because people, tend to go, okay, Matthew spoke about Superceed, and you're very high level at, when you first joined, you're talking about technology and AI, but you had no real structure and no real idea about how you're going to monetize. So now it's going back to the market and saying, hey, we've delivered on everything. Yes, we've grown, but we've actually commercialized all of our AI tech onto a platform now, and we're growing. So if you ask me, it's exactly what I just said, Roshan.
Okay, fantastic. We're gonna take a short commercial break, just for 30 seconds. So bear with us. We have a quick video to show you guys, and then we'll be right back here on TechTalk Friday, or TikTok Friday, or what's it called, Karam? TechTalk.
TechTalk. TEKTOK. TechTalk.
Yeah, TikTok, whatever Friday we are on. So we're gonna take commercial break. We'll be right back here in 30 seconds. So here's all right. That was a quick thing on Nicole, an AI-powered learning app that's available currently. Now back to where we are. Karam, you wanna you have any quick questions for Matt?
No. I think, Matt, you've done a great job in trying to flesh out what you did, right, and the challenges you guys face, because so many Malaysian tech companies I speak to end up being mired at a tight revenue range, right? Because the founders are the technologists, and then they cannot break out of the range. So for me, I may be harping on this, but from 2 million to 16 million is a fantastic achievement. Puts you now 16 million is the base level, right? You're gonna go to 50 million, and then you're gonna go to 100 million, right? And hopefully you can go boom, boom, boom much faster. And I think seems like you've done a good job in your 2 years there, and then now you're stepping back and doing something else. But hopefully Jeffrey and the team, have got a strong base in which to further run and lock in that Series A level funding, right? And then we can bring you guys back on, and the next time we'll bring Jeffrey on, maybe 6 or 9 months from now, to talk about where they are at now, right? Because like from a product point of view, you're already there. But like I think that what that lady was saying earlier, it is never about the product, right? Then you need to do something with the product, and it's people coming in and making sense, whether it's crafting the strategy or changing the business model, or saying, guys, no, we need to do this, do that. So it seems like when you came in, you also managed to shake some things up and say, okay, this is what we got to do. And maybe the original founders made them a bit uncomfortable, but you have to be that way in order to grow, right? Otherwise, you staying in the 2 million range, 3 million range is comfortable, and you don't want that, right?
And this, And Karam, I think this typically happens to a lot of companies, right? We
Of
get
course,
this
the
initial
majority,
stage of
yes.
success, right? It's like 5 million, 10 million, some stage of success. We're good enough. We are somewhat profitable, but there's an opportunity to scale a whole lot bigger. And Dr. Munira adds, Matthew, I remember when we had this conversation about a year ago, when we reconnected, I must say that you have made remarkable progress. We're excited about your journey. Good luck, mate. And she says it with the Australian might, slang. So,
Yeah. Okay,
so
Matthew, stay on because I want to talk about smart cities now, and I would love to get your viewpoint also. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
sure.
Roshan, you want to do something else, or we can talk about smart cities?
No, we can go. Okay, so Matt, thanks a lot. We'll bring you back in about 3 minutes. So just hang on. I'm gonna get Karam wants to.
No, 3 minutes. You can take a toilet break, Matthew. Go and take a toilet break. Okay.
All right. So thanks a lot, Matt. Appreciate that. Karam, you want to talk about the greatest tech news and what's happening in Southeast Asia?
No. Don't put pressure on me, like latest, greatest.
I gotta put pressure, man.
But don't say latest or greatest. No, what I find interesting is that Cyberjaya has been around for a long time, right? And they're positioning themselves as Malaysia's smart city. And they were the original ones to want to claim that position. Now, it's 20 years now, right? So what has happened just very recently, like maybe a month ago, Cyberview, which is the developer of Cyberjaya, they have come up with a new master plan for Cyberjaya, okay, to accelerate its growth and development as a smart city. And I would really love to hear from some of our listeners, right? Not listeners, viewers, readers, whatever, right? What do you think of whether you feel that when somebody says Cyberjaya, do you say it's a smart city already, or it's still got a long way to go? Because you can read the article on DNA, because it's a long article, because they've got a new master plan in place. They've divided Cyberjaya into 4 zones and 3 technology clusters, right? Mobility is one, Roshan, healthcare, and digital creative. Digital creative is our brilliant animators out there, like Wow, and then the guys from let me see, Digital Durian, right? You've got, of course, Lake Kopak out there, and then from Cyberjaya, there's another one. So
there's
very interesting companies out there. So that's why they're focusing on digital creative, and they're trying to bring it all together. So basically, end of the day, what Cyberview is hoping is that everybody sees Cyberjaya as a location that you can go, you can ideate, you can innovate, you can develop something, you can prototype it, you can pilot it, and then you can hopefully launch it. But it's a great, so they want to create Cyberjaya as a place where you can go and make and break things, okay? Make and break things. And I would love to see if readers feel that Cyberjaya is already somewhere, or would they even consider Cyberjaya as Malaysia's leading smart city at the moment? Because,
Karam, what about your thoughts? I mean, you've seen this for the last 20, 6 or 9, something like, so it's like 24 years or so, easily, right? So, I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, you've seen the last 24 years or so.
Sure.
And what do you think? I mean, do you think this plan is realistic, or it's one of those Vision 2020, 2050 kind of aspirational statements that never get us anywhere?
Fine. So before I say this, disclosure, right? Because Cyberview has commissioned DNA to do some content for them. Okay, so if whatever I say, you can take it with them.
I'm going to say some positive things, so I'll ask Matt then.
No, I may read. I have to.
Right.
I have to. He can read that. Maybe it says that, but no. I need to be honest, right? So if I look at where Cyberjaya is now, it is, in my mind, they're probably at about 10 or 15% of where it should be as a smart city. Because they claimed they want to be a smart city, right? And you've got this ecosystem. Look, so many tech companies are based in Cyberjaya, right? So that becomes you can go to somebody and say, I want to pilot or prototype something, or can we co-create together ideation? So I feel like there should be a lot more going on there. But then, like Matthew said, sometimes for you to be focused is very difficult, right? So Cyberview is a government, a link company. They're also doing a lot of other things. They're trying to bring investors into Cyberjaya. Then you're working on various other things. So this is overall umbrella. They want to be a smart city, but I feel their growth there hasn't been there. And also, of course, I interviewed the CEO, the new MD of Cyberview. Actually, not new, 3 years now. Najib Ibrahim, right? So realistically, somebody like him, should be a thought leader in smart cities already, right? So if I were to tell you the name Najib Ibrahim, I think most of the viewers would say, oh, who's he? I don't know him so well. So they've got a long way to go. For he should stake a claim as being a thought leader in smart cities, right? Issues anywhere, comment on that. And Cyberjaya should already, I don't know whether there's a list of top Asian smart cities, but they should already be a top 10 smart city. And if they're not, that should be their near-term goal. Guys, how do we do a smart city right away? Because look, they've got a number of universities there. All those kids are digital first, right? So, and those tech companies there, and you've got merchants there also, they should already be on a lot of digital platforms. So I think there's a long way to go. But this new plan also is a refocusing of efforts. So it says that we are here now. Karamjit says we are probably about 10-15% of where it should be, and we got to now build further and scale faster, right? That's what I think. But it's good to hear what readers, listeners,
we'll get that feedback. We're having some problems with our comment section today.
That's fine. That's fine.
But I'm keeping tabs on it. I'm reading as we go along. I'm keeping tabs. So why don't we get Matt back in? And Matt would love to hear your input. Matt, what do you think about what Karam shared?
And by the way, Matt actually worked in Cyberjaya for a number of
years.
He did,
yeah, exactly.
So he's perfectly suited to comment.
And he's maybe he can get away with murder, so it's fine.
I'm gonna take you for a history lesson now. So I joined MDEC on my birthday on the 1st of March 2006, and
wow.
I was so excited that the day that I was to join MDEC. It took me about 4 months of negotiation under Padlisham to come in in back then it was called shared services and outsourcing.
Okay.
And all I remember is there was no Waze back in those days. I remember looking at the map and trying to work out how to navigate my way to Cyberjaya. And then I left my house, and I think it was about an hour later I arrived in this cowboy town, and it was like
I hope you didn't knock any cows down. I hope no cows were killed in your first journey to Cyberjaya.
We have a disclaimer. Don't worry about that.
But back then it was like a ghost town. I mean, there was no traffic lights. The only lights were the ones where MDEC's office was, and that was flashing yellow or orange. It was. I'm sure I saw tumbleweed going down the middle of the street. It was just this bizarre thing, and I thought, what have I done? What have I got myself in for? There was only one restaurant, and that was at Cyberview Lodge, and there was only one mamat store, and that was Hassan, the mamat store. But there was nothing. It was just a ghost town, and I mean, it was a. I think me coming into MDEC back in 2006, I'm a sales guy and a marketing guy, so I can put a spin on anything, I guess.
Yep.
And going out there and traveling around the world, I think 1 week after starting in MDEC, I was on a plane to New York, and I met up with the CEO of Forbes.com and Credit Suisse and so forth, and told them all about this amazing Silicon Valley that we've created in Malaysia. 1 week before, I thought I was in a ghost town, but I was talking like it was the Silicon Valley of Malaysia. But I mean, that's the history. Where it's at now, I mean, now you see there's a lot more. I think the population's about 100,000 now. So I mean, it's not grown anywhere near as fast as the potential as what it could have or what it should have.
Yeah.
I don't believe that we've really realized our vision of having a Silicon Valley. I think that the direction of MDEC, and I humbly say this because I believe that MDEC is doing an incredible job.
Yep.
But their mission statement has differed from when I used to work with MDEC. When I used to work with MDEC, it was all about going out there and saying, let's sell Malaysia and let's bring the big multinational companies in to invest and create thousands or if not tens of thousands of jobs. And what they would do, the spin-off for the local community, bring technology up, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And now, I mean, the vision or the direction of MDEC has changed, and I don't disagree with what they're doing now, but now they're more focused on growing up Malaysian companies and
Yeah.
you know,
That should be the
and
objective.
it's
That
really
was the
great.
long-term plan for MDEC anyway, for Malaysia, right? To then have local companies grow and become global regional champions, which is what MDEC's trying to do now. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, but I don't think. Sorry,
Matt,
Bob.
okay, go ahead.
I don't think we ever hit critical mass, and I think that's the biggest problem. You know, the biggest problem is I think we needed to keep going out there and selling Malaysia, and because it needed to get to a stage where we didn't need to sell Malaysia anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like people go to San Francisco and Silicon Valley because it's Silicon Valley. They don't go there because the government says, "Oh, we'll give you free rent or whatever."
Yeah, true.
So we never got to that. We never got to that level. And I agree with you.
You need other pieces also. It's not just what's going on there, but the talent development is also huge. So we need to create top quality talent coming out by the bucket loads. Because that itself will attract people coming here. Malaysia's got this great talent, and they think they're problem solvers. That they don't just say, "Give me a task and I'll do it very well and I'll do it cheap for you." They'll come and challenge you, and they'll innovate or they ideate and they create different things. So that's a global challenge, but we need to do that better, as many countries do. But just a quick anecdote, Roshan, we're almost hitting 51 minutes again. We're in 2006, bizarre, I actually wanted to move to Cyberjaya. Because I write about technology. I'm excited about MDEC, Cyberjaya. I wanted to invest and move there and report from there. But both my mom and my wife said they would leave me if I moved to Cyberjaya. So your wife leaving you is normal, right? But my mom said she would leave me. I said, "Oh, that's bad."
He needs his mom's chapati, Karam, you've been back to your house for a nice chapati on a Saturday morning.
I'll invite you over for chapati, okay?
His mom's chapati is, very, very nice. Again, we're way past our time. So, there's a couple of comments. Jasbir wishes
Cyberjaya, think of Cyberview as a smart city and comment to me directly if you want to. There's a lot more work to be done, but the foundation is there.
Keep those comments coming, especially if you have comments on what this whole smart city, what do you think Cyberview, Cyberjaya, whether the plan...
Cyberjaya.
Cyberjaya's plan is a valid plan or has meat, or what should be done better. I think that's important to know. A couple of quick comments. Matt, you've got a happy belated birthday wish from Jasbir. So your birthday was, happy birthday to you. And Karam will send you the cake tomorrow. You'll see a grab.
No, chapati in my house.
And Nora Manaf, Dato' Nora from Maybank says, agree, some ways to go, but we have so much potential to be realized, and it can be realized.
Yes,
and I agree.
It must be realized.
Yes, and it can be realized, and we must realize it, but it takes a lot of effort. It's going to take us a lot of effort, like you said, and talent, I think, is a big part of it. We really got to play that. But Jasbir adds to that and say, not only that, we still need investors to revive the economy. So I again, final thoughts let me get Matt's final thoughts of the day. Matt, your 20-second, 30-second nugget of wisdom for us to cap off the show.
Okay, so I mean, one of the things that Karamjit said I really agree with, and that is the knowledge and the academic qualifications which we're churning out of Malaysia universities. So the technology is moving faster than it's ever moved in the history of mankind. AI and machine learning, and to be honest, I mean, if you're reading all the reports, the jobs that are going to be replaced are replacing jobs which the universities are training for today. So the universities have to up their game. And I think that, of course, the Malaysian universities are doing a great job to follow in line with what the global universities are doing. So I think that's a great thing. I think Cyberjaya has got, it's continued to grow. I don't believe it's seen its full potential yet. I believe we still need to have a value proposition to attract the big multinational companies to set up their hub in Malaysia. And I think that MDEC's doing a great job to develop all these programs around AI, technology, helping SMEs and stuff like that. But I also agree with Karamjit's comment before, is there's so much overlap. between what MDEC is doing, what SME Corp is doing, what Cradle is doing, now what Cyberview is doing. So I think there just needs to be some real collaboration, some alignment with all these different agents. So that's but it's all very positive.
It was a long 30 seconds, but that's okay. So Karam, you get 30 seconds because we got 2 more questions I'm going to take. There's two good questions. One is for Matt. One I think is for the rest of us. So before that, I want to get Karam's 30 seconds final input, and then we'll go into the question and we close out. Karam, your final take for today.
No, I think Matt's done a great job, and just remember him, right? How it's a lot of time the technology, almost all the time, the technology is not enough on its own. So it's a credit also to Jeffrey and the original founders of Superceed to bring not only get Matthew in as an investor, but say, hey, can you come in and be CEO and help drive the company, right? So that's a great template for others. And then the second thing is, for the way, they raise funding, right? You've got a combination of ECF and VC funding coming in. That's an interesting combination. They're trying to create value in the company. And then next week, we're going to bring in, I think, also before we bring in a drone player, I want to bring in Elaine Lokman of Atta Plus, because she now has a NASDAQ listed company has invested in her as a path for her to go for a listing. Very interesting play there, and I want to bring her in so they open the eyes.
Okay, so to be in next week, right? We'll get Elaine next week.
So they understand there are other ways for you to monetize your company also. And then for Cyberjaya, right, the base is very strong. And, I'm saying that they need to build much like Dato' Manaf says, the foundation, the talent is there, the potential is there. We have to, we must realize it. And I think Cyberview can drive for Cyberjaya to realize being the preeminent, smart city in Southeast Asia, even better than Singapore. The target should be better than Singapore. And that will scare the pants out of them, but it makes you move faster and do things differently, right? Because in Singapore, they're afraid to break things. In Malaysia, we should not be, right? Come and create and break and learn from that and move on. So those are my 30 seconds thoughts. It's actually 39 seconds.
30 seconds is more like 2 minutes, 59 seconds, but never mind. Okay, but I'm going to end with this question because I thought it's a good question. This is specifically on Matt. What's your advice? It's from Jega Manoharan. He asked this question. What's your advice if someone has a tech idea to explore and they know it conceptually that it can work, but prototyping it would cost quite a bit? Should they fund themselves to roll out a prototype first before they go to funding, or they should just take the idea to funding? What's your quick take?
Go to Cyberjaya, Cyberview, right? They're ready. They want to be a global pilot.
Okay, Matt. No, Karam, this question is from Matt, not for you. Quiet. Okay.
Okay. So I think it's important to put skin in the game as a founder. So it's called bootstrapping. So you need to bootstrap to prototype and also to test the market before you start looking for investment to come in. Even at a seed round, even seed investors will want to see some level of traction before, so at least they have some security. I mean, they're taking the biggest risk at a seed round, but not. I mean, how many people are out there asking for investment in ideas? I mean, maybe 100,000 people a day come up with ideas. So it's about proving that you can take an idea, get it to at least a prototype, get some user base or whatever your model is, and then go out there. I mean, there's tons of capital out there, but if you ask me, my last thing I'm going to talk about, if you're looking at raising capital, investors actually, it's about your business, it's about your model, it's about your growth, but they invest in people. So they need to. I mean, if somebody's going to invest in your company and invest in you, you need to get along with them. You need to be talking the same, have the same wavelength, talk the same language, and really have a great synergy. Because if you don't have that, then investors will be very insecure. It's a real learning curve to get investment. I mean, yes, we raised in January. We raised 900,000. seed capital. Right now, we're raising 4 million ringgit in ECF. And in 3 months, if God's willing, you'll see that we've raised between 5 and 7 million US in our Series A. So
Inshallah.
Yes, absolutely.
So okay, just one final comment from Just Bay. She gives an idea of, we talk a lot about, I mean, talent is going to be critical. Whether it's Cyberjaya's success or people like Superceed and companies like my company, Leromics, and so on. And so she's saying, we need to co-create a talent pool, where with Dato' Nora being there and Dato' Munira and so on. So she suggests a co-creation of a national talent pool, design thinkers, innovation, and so on and so forth. So just in 10 seconds, if you do like a chat services concept for all the different things with finance and so on, but a tech talent pool, does that make sense to any of you guys? Matt, Karam, your final take on this?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I mean, we spoke about this 10 years ago when I was in MDEC. We spoke about, creating a talent pool under MDEC, and not only in Malaysia, but creating a regional talent pool to bring the talent in. So I think it's a great idea, and I don't think
somebody has to own it. I guess somebody has to own it, and somebody who knows how to own such a pool and ensure there's real development that happens, I guess. Okay, good. I think that's our show for today. Karam, any last thoughts on that? Or
no, we're already at 56 minutes lah. No last thoughts. We're gonna go.
Okay, good.
Last thoughts is have a good and productive weekend. Yeah.
All right, everyone, have a fantastic weekend. Karam has kept you here for almost an hour. Hopefully, we didn't bore you with three guys talking, rambling away. But that's tech, right? So that's your Friday ramblings from some old farts, But thanks again for your time, Matt. Thanks a lot.
The camera keeps moving.
Hey, thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, take care. And it's a wrap for us. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. That's Tech Talk Friday for all of you. Have a fabulous week ahead, and God bless. And looking forward to seeing Cyberjaya becoming the Silicon Valley of